Hey, what's going on, everybody? I got my man Julian Lomenzo here, a brand new guest on the show. So I think it's gonna be exciting tonight. We shouldn't be here too long since it's only two of us tonight, but we're gonna talk about Game 2 of the NBA Finals. And first thing we're gonna do, we're just gonna give our thoughts on game. So I'm gonna let Julian start it off, man. What'd you think of Game 2?
The game two was it was a terrible game. It was a blowout. I don't think Love's I think Love really stands a chance against Draymond Green. And I've been noticing that the Cavs just trying to focus on the Splash Brothers, and they're leaving everybody else wide open, and everybody else is just making everything.
Yeah, man, that's a good point. They were talking about it even at halftime and on the little post game that seems to be what the Cavs want to do. But at what point, when Draymond Green hit his second or third three,
They're leaving them wide open.
Yeah, he's just going to continue to leave him wide open. I mean, I don't, I know people may think, well, he's not a great 3-point. He shot close to 40% this year. But I think what a lot of people don't understand, these are NBA basketball players. If you give these guys 10, 15 feet of space and they're decent shooters, they can make open shots. Like take a guy like Rajon Rondo, for example. That dude, we look at him, we say this guy can't shoot, he's a terrible shooter, right? Put him in a gym just by himself, wide open, and he's gonna make 50 out of 100 threes. So, and Draymond Green Go ahead.
Even Robertson was hitting wide open threes in the conference finals.
Exactly, and he's a terrible shooter. That's what I'm saying. These guys will make and Draymond Green is a better shooter than both those guys. I mean, he shot close to 40% for a reason. He's not a bad 3-point shooter. He's not elite, but he's not bad. And one would think, and they've done a pretty good. Well, I don't want to say they've done a pretty good job on Clay and Steph, because if you'll look at the numbers. Oh man, Curry only 18 points. What'd Clay have, like 17, something like that? But look at their percentages. Both went 4 for 8 from three. I think Steph was 6 out of 10 overall. So did you really shut these guys down?
No, because they're leaving everybody else open.
Exactly, and these guys, and they're still beating you, and they didn't play huge minutes tonight. Curry sat like the last 8 minutes, of the third quarter. He sat the last 7 minutes. I mean, what did he play? 5? He played like 9 minutes in the second half.
I think he only played like 25 minutes the whole game.
Exactly. And then Klay Thompson played. He didn't even play in the fourth quarter. And he played, 7 minutes in the third quarter? I mean, so at what point, if you're the Cavs, you may want to start rethinking things, what you're doing on the defensive end of the floor, because that shit you're doing now is not working. So it'll be interesting to see in Game 3 how they adjust. Now I want to ask you this, and I'm sure you saw me tweet it out. I was responding to one of OG's tweets. Kyrie Irving, is he ever going to pass the basketball?
Probably not. I mean, he's just not a winner. He doesn't win games.
Oh wow, that's tough. Because I watching, I'm like, I'm watching the game, and it's like, did he get one? I think the only time I saw him actually really pass the ball, he drove the club, tried to do one of his little up, and just threw it out because two guys collapsed on him at the rim. He throws it to, I want to say it was either J.R. Smith or Iman Shumpert. And of course, their Cub really, their man was close to him, so they could, close out on him really quick. But I'm like, man, is that the best you can do? Dribbling the air out of that damn ball, and then he takes a bad shot or he forces something stupid inside. Like, it's just there's too much to either him or LeBron. At least LeBron will pass, but with Kyrie Irving, he's going to pass the ball. I mean, we criticize Brooke for his decision-making, but holy shit, Kyrie Irving, are you going to pass? Like, at least Russell Westbrook, when he gets 4 guys converge on him, at least he'll throw it out. But with Kyrie Irving, it's like you just force up a bad shot.
He's taking a lot of mid-range shots too. It's not really like getting to the rack a lot and shooting threes.
No, well, I noticed what they did. I noticed a little bit more in the first quarter of this game because, in game one, if you notice, Steph Curry was playing really good individual defense on him, really good on-ball defense, keeping him in front, forcing him into stuff. But this game, and in this game, if you notice, look how many screens they set for him, like ball screens, where he's dribbling. Tristan Thompson would come up, set a screen on, free him up to get, he hit the first couple shots he took in the game, but they were all off the screen. It's not like he was having trouble creating with Steph Curry on him, which is ironic because I believe, we got a lot of haters out in this, a lot of NBA fans who are haters and hated Steph Curry like, oh, he can't play defense. This guy's terrible.
Like
but
it's 5 years ago.
Have they not been watching? Moves his feet, quick hands. Yeah, I mean, this guy is he's not an elite defender by any means, but to say this dude is trash they're not hiding him really playing good defense. He's the worst player every time down the floor. I mean, he was guarding in game one. He was guarding Kyrie Irving most of the basketball game. It's not like they were hiding him on J.R. Smith, who just has decided he doesn't know how to play basketball anymore. I think that's another thing. That's another thing we got. I want to ask you, J.R. Smith. Like, what's going on? What do you think? What do you think's gotten into his head? Who's never met a shot he doesn't like? Now he won't take a shot.
Well, I'm a Knicks fan, so I mean, I'm used to this, seeing him play like this. He just doesn't show up. I don't know what's wrong with him.
Yes. So tell all of us out there, you're not a J.R. Smith fan.
Not at all.
No, you're not at all. Even when he was on your Knicks.
No, even when he was Sixth Man of the Year, because he lost us the Pacers series.
Yeah, this guy, I don't know if you can trust him. I'm not gonna. I shouldn't say this, but and I won't throw any names out there. But back when I lived in Houston, everybody played in the before they stopped doing it, the Fondy Summer Pro-Am League, and JR would come out there. Josh Smith and all those guys. And in one of the games, he got so mad because he was getting busted up. He socked a dude in the jaw and broke his jaw just because he was getting busted up so bad. I'm not going to name any names.
JR did that?
But yes, J.R. Smith did that. He's not really allowed. He's not really allowed in Houston too much anymore.
He's like Whiteside. Whenever he gets balled up, he gets mad and he stops trying.
I know this is kind of a little bit off topic. It's funny you mentioned Whiteside because I think it was a couple years ago in Summer League. He was playing with, I want to say he was playing with Toronto's summer team. He was getting kicked out of games just because of his emotions. But a buddy of mine was working a kid out and was working out with Whiteside on the other side of the gym at we got this big facility there called Lifetime Fitness. So Dream is, and this is when Whiteside was going into the draft. So this would have been like summer 2010. And so my buddy walks, out of the gym just to talk, because he knows Dream, and he was talking, and he went and said, was saying, wanted to say, what's up to Hassan Whiteside, and Hassan Whiteside looks at him like, man, who the fuck are you? And I'm thinking to myself, like, does Hassan Whiteside not watch, like, this dude for Marquette team with Dwayne Wade that he said that to? Like, come on now, man. Like, this dude, he just said, and he was telling me Hassan Whiteside has all the talent. Like, the dude is super talented, but he's just cocky. He's just very cocky and into him. And that's why if I were an NBA team, I would not give this guy a max contract. He's going to find a way to screw it up.
Sadly, somebody still is going to give him a max contract.
Yeah, I think it, and I mean, Miami can't. I don't think Miami can. Technically, they can't give him a max, but from what I've read, they can, with all with no state taxes and stuff. Actually, like, they can match pretty much any team. interesting to see. And, you know, with the mental makeup of Hassan Whiteside, you never know. Is he going to be willing? Is he going to be willing to listen to that? And, I mean, maybe you can give him a max deal if Wade's to take less, which at this point in his career he should. I mean, look what Dirk has done every year almost the last 2 or 3 years. Dirk is taking lesser contracts so that they can go out and sign better players. You know, won the 3 championships, and he's always taken less money that other players don't have. So, I mean, taking $5 million a year hurts you that much. And he doesn't seem like he's a guy who has been stupid with his money. I mean, you know, he's got Gabby, and she's rich too, so you don't have much to worry about, man. Take one for the team. Bring back Whiteside. That's all I'm saying. Bring him back. That's the best chance they've got. Then maybe you can bring back Luol Deng. But that's enough about the Miami Heat. What did you think of Curry and Klay Thompson's performance tonight?
I thought they both played well. They could both play better, but the fouls stopped Curry from playing so much.
Very good. Yes. I saw some. I noticed some comments. You know, one of my guys, Greg Smith, brought some interesting. You know, he made a lot of interesting points with some of the non-calls where the Warriors were getting you to benefit. But what I like about Greg is he also threw in there. He wasn't just biased, saying, "Well, you know, the Heat aren't getting any calls. It's just the Warriors." He actually mentioned, you know, he was saying the travels that LeBron James was getting away with.
He did like 5 of them.
Oh, man. Did you see his post move, the spin move, the drop step? That was such a beautiful move that he took 5 steps.
Yeah, so on Livingston?
Yeah, you can catch the ball, catch it, then take 2 steps, then spin, take 2 more steps, and then for good measure, take that next step to get all the way to the rim. and that's a great move. I'm surprised, you know, Van Gundy and Mark Jackson didn't say what a travel it was. They seem to be, you know, I want to see these guys calling the games, and you know, actually call these guys out when they take like 4 steps, and when they're fouled. You know, usually they're pretty good when they on the fouls that should be called. They're usually pretty good with those, like on the. When Kevin Love got hit, like that wasn't I don't think it was a foul on Barnes for the elbow, but he clearly jumped over his back.
Yeah, they were saying that's like a loose ball foul or something.
That should have been a loose ball foul, but they didn't call anything. Instead, Kevin Love just lays on the ground, which I think is another thing we should talk about. Is you think he's really hurt? Was he being, you know, kind of weak on that? Because I know I saw a lot of people saying he was kind of weak, and you know, if he was really that hurt, why get up and then you come down and knock down a 3?
That is true, but then he left the game at some point, didn't he?
He left in the second half. He came back in he started the second half and then said he showed no signs of a concussion when they first looked at him at halftime, I guess. But I guess we'll find out. And in the NBA, there's no there's no rule that says you can't fly home or anything like that, because they were talking about that on the post game about him being able to fly back to Cleveland because of that's not part of it. So even if he has some crazy concussion, he can still fly back to Cleveland. But I mean, I would assume he would probably play in Game 5. Yeah, I mean, I don't think he'll miss any time. I mean, even if he did, did he play tonight? What did he do?
Absolutely nothing.
Exactly. What did he do?
He played 0 defense.
Yeah, exactly. And so, you know what this would be? If you're Tyronn Lue and they asked him this tonight, and I know we're asking crazy questions on the show tonight because it was just a massacre. Let's just everybody admit so. It was a massacre. There wasn't much really to talk about. But if you're Tyronn Lue and Kevin Love is out, who do you start? They asked him that in the post game. I
would start Fry.
You would start Fry. Yeah. I would actually. I know this may sound crazy because they had to take Fry out quick because of the D, his piss poor D. I would actually go with Mozgov.
That's actually a good point.
Because I think
last year he did a good job.
Exactly. And what you do, Draymond Green's not blessed with speed. Let Tristan Thompson can move his feet, pretty good. Let Tristan Thompson guard Draymond Green, guard Bogut, because we saw what Andrew Bogut did tonight in just his 12, 14 minutes of play. He dominated those guys tonight. 5 blocks. He was tipping balls out for rebounds and stuff. If you put Mozgov out there, that may negate some of that. So I might go with Mozgov. And if he sucks it up the first 4 minutes, you can always take him out of the game and go with Fry. It'll be interesting to see what Lou does. I mean, obviously, the only problem you get is offensively. If you start Mozgov and Thompson, there's no perimeter spacing there. So you're going to clog things up. So that may be the only thing he looks at. But then again, you can bring Mozgov off the bench then and give him some decent time. But it seems like this could be an opportunity for Mozgov to get some meaningful minutes and do some things. So I think we'll go to this. For Game 3, we're going back to Cleveland. You think the Cavs can pull one off in Game 3?
I think they'll probably win Game 3 by about 5 points, but I see the Warriors winning this one in 5 games.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking after this, and I said it in our last show when we were all giving our predictions, and I picked the Cavs to win this one, and you can go even on Twitter. I had the Cavs winning by I want to say 6 tonight, but I said that if the Cavs lose Game 2, they may be in trouble, and instead of this a 6-game series, you could be looking at a sweep or 5, and that seems to be what's happening here, and the thing is the Cavs just don't seem to be making the adjustments within the back to stop what the Warriors are doing. I know the Warriors are a great team. They got the Splash Brothers, and you got to pay attention to them. But damn, you let Draymond Green get damn near 30 on you. You can't let that happen. You cannot let that happen. I'm not saying Draymond Green's a very good player. But damn, 30 points? This dude was eating you up.
It's all because they're just trying to focus on the Splash Brothers. They're just leaving him wide open.
Yeah, exactly, and that's a good point. So now let's play man deep. Well, see, that's the problem. That's the face. And see, this is what I talked about. Everybody who kept coming at me saying, well, had this team have been healthy last year, this and all that bullshit, they would have always kept telling them. There's a reason things – They had everybody except Love in Game 1 in last year. Kyrie got hurt in the overtime. Warriors win that game. But if you notice, when Kyrie went down, everything changed defensively because you got Dellavedova who can D up everything. They didn't have to. Now they can. They don't have to help out on Curry and Thompson all the time because Dellavedova was doing a hell of a job last year, forcing Curry into bad shots and really making him work. But this year, like with this lineup, who do you like? Kyrie has to guard Steph Curry. Kevin Love has to guard Draymond Green. And then what happens, like we mentioned, like when we did our finals preview, what's going to happen when Kevin Love gets put in that pick and roll? He's not Serge Ibaka. He's not Steven Adams.
Not at all.
He doesn't move his feet as good as those guys. And yeah, no. And you're seeing that he misses a lot of defensive assignments. Like his man beating his ass down the floor. You can't let that happen in the NBA Finals. Defensive assignments. Like he wasn't nearly as bad as Kyrie in Game 1. Kyrie Irving was constantly just missing assignments, closing out late, not fighting through screens. Just he was atrocious, and he was even worse tonight. Maybe that guy. And I don't want to be too hard on them because, I mean, and even you called me out on it. Prisoner in the moment when the Warriors were getting pounded, you called me out on it. I'm willing to admit it. But what I'm seeing here, so I don't want to be totally like, oh, it's over, because we saw what the Warriors did. But damn, like where's the effort? I want to see some fight. So it will be interesting And I was watching the game with my dad, and he said, if the Warriors go back and the Cavs blow them out, you know the NBA's rigged. Because there's absolutely no – and I don't think he means it in the sense that the NBA is rigging it, but it's like, are these players just like almost, I guess, in a sense, shaving points? Is this going on?
It's like they're acting it out.
Like, I can't – exactly. Look what happened in that Thunder. I mean, the Thunder were absolutely pounding the Warriors. And then all of a sudden they completely went away with everything that was working.
I thought that series was over with when it was 3-1. I just thought that there was no way.
No, did you really think it was over too?
Yeah, when it was 3-1, but when it was 2-1, I thought.
Yeah. I was actually I didn't, because I tweeted out that it's over. Like, it looked like the Thunder just ripped their heart from them. And in games, what was it, 5, 6, and 7, they stopped doing what was working. What the hell? Like, how are you pounding a team so bad? You're like making them look like the Philadelphia 76ers. The first 4 games, and then the last 3, now they've got you looking stupid. You were doing everything wrong. That makes no sense to me. And it's not like the Thunder, they've got good players, they're well coached, and hell, I was wrong about Billy Donovan. I don't think that was at all on Billy Donovan.
No, that was
Billy Donovan cannot make it was on KD and Westbrook. He can't make them make good decisions. And what's he going to do? Yank them out of the game?
No.
Just like he kind of keeps a similar substitution pattern as Brooks. Either Durant or Westbrook or both are in the game at all times. Did you see 1 second of that game, except blowouts? Other than blowouts when they were up by like 20, did you ever see either one of both those guys out at the same time?
No.
They never.
They were gassed.
Because, that's exactly. He needed to trust, and we talked about it a couple days ago. I think we talked about it on the our finals preview when we were talking about the Western Conference Finals. They need to trust, like Game 7, who was their best playmaker? It was actually Dion Waiters. I know that sounds crazy.
I saw him drop a couple times and he passed it out.
He was doing a good job. He was getting players involved. So if you can get Dion Waiters to do that for 8 minutes a game, that's 8 minutes you don't have to have Westbrook or Durant in the basketball game. Trust him. I think that would be the one mistake I'd say Billy Donovan maybe made, is not trusting Dion Waiters. Because he did a good job. Most of the playoffs, he was pretty good. I know it shocked everybody.
He's playing pretty good defense too.
Exactly. He can D up. I mean, I think a lot of people like to compare him to J.R. Smith and whatnot, or Nick Young, but he's completely different. He doesn't take those dumb threes that J.R. Smith takes, and those are the only shots Smith takes. He just shoots threes. I mean, they showed the graphic before the game of the shots that J.R. Smith has hit in the playoffs, not the finals, the playoffs, have been threes. He does not go. He doesn't. And it's sad because the dude can put it on the floor. He's super athletic. He can create his shot. He can get to the cup.
Not with LeBron. Not with LeBron.
I mean, he can, though. He didn't really do that with the Knicks, though. Did he go to the cup that much?
Yeah, he did.
He did. J.R. Smith went more. I didn't watch a lot of Knicks games. I won't lie. I was not a fan of watching the Knicks when Smith, because I was disappointed in that group. They really disappointed me. What was the year they won 53, 52 games? 2013.
Yeah, and then the next year we couldn't make the playoffs.
Knocked out in the second round.
And then the year after that we were like the 9th seed.
Yeah, exactly. I was really disappointed with that group. Yeah. I saw some improvement this year, and I'm going to give you this. We'll do this since there's not much finals to talk about tonight, because, like I said, that was just atrocious. But as a Knicks fan, I'm going to ask you this, and then we'll get out of here tonight since not much happened. But what do you want to see your Knicks do in the off season?
I want to see them get a decent
on here.
I want to see them get a decent point guard. I think a follow sucks. That's pretty much all I need. I mean, that's all we were missing last year.
See, here's the only thing. Point. Who could they get? Like, I know who I would go after if they can get him. Really go to New York.
With Hornacek there, he might.
I don't want Ron. I don't think Rondo's the answer.
Oh no, fuck Rondo.
Yeah, exactly. But Connolly's really it. I'd like to see him go to New York.
Yeah, I agree.
You think that they do they have enough? Do they have enough cap space to bring him in?
I think so. I'm positive.
Okay, yeah. If you that's the guy I would go after. I would go after Connolly. I think you could get a shooting guard. You don't need anybody great.
I never
go in there play deep. Flalo was actually,
What were you saying?
Why they got who? I was going to say Flalo is actually, if Flalo played the way he did in Denver and Orlando, he would not be bad. But for whatever reason, Flalo thinks I don't understand that. This dude just takes in all the games when Melo was out. That typically meant Porzingis was the go-to guy. He was there. They ran the offense through him. Spurs game, in Cleveland, in San Antonio comes to mind. Well, especially the Cleveland game in Cleveland. It was in late December. I don't know if you saw that game, but they're winning the whole game. Porzingis is just killing the Cavs.
And then messes it up.
Yeah, the last 10 minutes of the game, I swear to God, Aaron Aflalo and Lance Thomas took every shot.
Yeah,
they would not pass unless it was to each other.
That was terrible.
I was shocked. It was awful, and that's when I kind of realized, was like, does Derek Fisher have any control over these guys?
It's like they were hiding the ball from Porzingis.
Yeah. Whenever he had, and that's the one thing I got to give. And people talk about Carmelo all the time. Who got Carmelo? Carmelo understands how important Porzingis is to his career right now. At this point, he can extend his career. Never. Like Carmelo he looked for Porzingis all the time, but nobody on the team really wanted to give him the basketball. I just didn't understand that. Are they like jealous of this guy?
The system just sucked. Can you hear me?
Yeah, man. That was. I hope they can rectify. Yeah, I can hear you. My internet may be kind of crappy now. Sometimes the gremlins get me, but I think we'll close it on that one, since this game was a laugher. But what we got, we'll be back Wednesday. Julian's going to be back with me on Wednesday. We should have a few other guys too. But until then, we'll see you on Wednesday.